Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Talking God and Politics. And Mark, we have a special guest, and her name is, come here, get in there, Anna Grace Michelle Sullivan, our lovely.
Anna, hey.
Hello.
I think I've met her a few times. I haven't
Yes.
actually heard her talk though. She's talking tonight, huh?
Yes, I promised her that I could put her on the show, so she's excited about it.
Okay.
Well, man of living, I mean, wow, the Charlie Kirk thing. I mean, I'm not going to say that I didn't see it coming because I've been watching Kirk and he's been saying some things that you're just not supposed to say. And, we know how these things work. We know that there's patsies. Oswald, I believe, was a patsy for the CIA and Mossad as well. You see the things leading up to his assassination, Kennedy's assassination, and you always ask the question, who stands to gain? Who stands to gain? And when you look at the Kirk assassination, who stands to gain? And what is the context leading up to this event? What is he doing? Who's threatening him? Not just from the trans community. I mean, they've always hated this guy's guts. But there's another group that was threatening him, and we're hoping that the FBI is looking at that. Oh, Lord willing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a show, by myself. I think it was the day after, and that was kind of the question I led the show off with: who stands to gain? And
Yeah, which I put it out on our Rumble channel the night you did it. So yeah, everybody go to the Rumble channel. Right now we're not broadcasting live there, but we will eventually. But yeah, it's out there. And subscribe.
And we've got some good we have some more video tonight. Candace Owens just came out with some stuff, and Candace Owens is very important because she's really good friends with Charlie. She's broken with Israel. She's already been down this road, and she has some inside sources of the threats that the donors were giving. And we're going to take a look a little bit at that video as well. But just not a whole lot going on this week. Some stuff behind the scenes that's taking place during the Kirk assassination that our lovely congressmen are doing. That's just horrific. But this
yeah, I do have a couple of things to show on that just before
absolutely. So what do you guys want to do? You want to hit the assassination issue first?
Yeah, let me propose this question. So there was a lot of things that came out about Charlie being a martyr. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, in scripture, the martyr vindication goes all the way back from Abel up to AD 70. Those are the martyrs that were being filled up. Post AD 70, of course, they're still martyrs, but they don't have an eschatological context to them.
Right.
But yeah, you still have martyrs. You still have martyrs for the faith. Was he a martyr for the faith? I think he'd be more of a political martyr than he would. It's close. It really is because like him, we don't separate. Our show is talking God and politics because we see how they come together, right? And Charlie saw that as well.
Right.
I mean, he was always bringing a Christian worldview into whatever subject he's dealing with: abortion, transgenderism, Marxism, socialism, communism, history. So he was always bringing that Christian apologetic with the gospel to these other issues. So it's kind of hard to separate.
So let me throw this out as well. Obviously, he was a Christian surrounded by a bunch of non-Christians. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of them claim they are, and they're not. So why would God allow him to be assassinated?
Well, we trust completely in the sovereign sovereignty of God, all of our days are numbered, all of them. And we're indestructible until that last day of our life. And you have to look at it this way, Mark. With this guy's kind of talent, I think from a worldly human mindset, that's what we look at. We look at, well, man, he died at 31. He was so articulated. He had so many gifts. He had so much going for him, his family. This doesn't make any sense. Oh, gee, what a loss for the kingdom. So much potential. From a human perspective, that's kind of how we look. But from God's perspective, God knew that he chose Charlie as a believer, first of all, before the foundation of the world.
That's
but
right.
He chose him to glorify him. He had specific ordained fruit and works for him to glorify the Lord, right? And God knew in his sovereignty that his death at this time in this way would glorify him more than if Charlie lived until he was 100 years old. And that is just what I trust in. I trust in scripture. I trust in the sovereignty of God. I trust in the goodness of God. And knowing that he works all things, not just for our good, but for his glory.
Right.
And so I think that his death this way is going to achieve way more than Charlie could do if he lived. I truly believe that.
Amen. I think so too. And in fact, you saw it over the weekend. And that's why I proposed the question. I wanted to get your view, and I think you nailed it. Over the weekend, you saw South Korea, and you can see this on X. Just look at it. South Korea came out and was talking about Charlie. In fact, in London, they had a huge turnout. Now, the media said it was 110,000. It was 1 million people flooded the city of London in every corner. And there were pockets calling out Charlie, Charlie. So I think that's exactly right.
Yeah, there's a turnout in France. There was also a turnout in Africa as well.
Oh, Africa! I didn't see that.
This man has touched every part of this globe, and I think that what I'm hoping, what is going to happen, is that this is going to start causing people to question Zionism in Israel and Israel's role in backing these NGOs that Charlie was beginning to call out.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, my wife mentions London. Do you know what King Charles said? When was this?
In fact, I posted a thing and said, where was the king when they were all out? And I don't think he came out and said anything unless it was this morning.
He didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk, but he's definitely thanked the Muslim community and quoted from the Quran, thanking the Muslim community for everything they have done to help build Britain up.
So hang on. And I didn't mean he would come out and talk about Charlie, obviously not. But I thought he would come out and comment on the 1 million people that were in London. You're telling me he came out and said that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, and I'm gonna tie this in here just with this one picture here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Let me see here. But this is a picture or a meme of Charlie, and this is what he's quoting this. I have a video of it too. He says, Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical open borders. Now that's replacement migration. That's a war strategy. Neoliberal quasi-Marxist policies. So he is saying the quiet part out loud. And when King Charles is talking about that, you have to understand, if you study globalists, the globalist threat, King Charles and these elite families, they're right up there. Like the Rothschilds are above them, but they're right there at the top of the food chain of the globalists. So King Charles is basically insulting his people when he does. He's actually inciting a civil war because he knows that England's fed up with this replacement migration. He knows that they're marching in the street, and he's provoking them for a civil war. And they're provoking us here for a civil war. That's what the CIA does. That's what the Mossad does. This has been this has been in their playbook. And actually 2025, there's some documents going around from the globalists that this year was marked as the main year for public assassinations to cause a civil war in the United States. Yeah. And so when you have provoking his population like that, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I I guess it was a few episodes back right around January after Trump got elected. I said it's going to be interesting. I just didn't think it would go here. You know, that Chinese proverb that says "May you live in interesting times." People use that. That's actually a curse. And the Chinese that said that is a curse. May you live in interesting times.
Right.
And it got a little further than I expected.
Yeah, let's play a few of these videos where Charlie he's starting to see what's going on.
Yeah, real quick before you play that, I was going to say that I can't remember his name, Harrison. Anyway, he was on InfoWars.
Yeah,
he was the one that first broke this, and he has posted on I think it's called Liberty Lockdown. He will not reveal the source because the source said they didn't want to be revealed, but he talked about how Charlie began to worry about what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He specifically said he was worried about Israel killing him. So
that's correct.
But we'll get there here in a minute. Hang on a second. I just want to lead up to that.
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has that's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours.
Of course there was a stand down order.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, they're required to carry those AR-15s and all of that. Once from the time if you're in Israel from the time you're 18 and until I think you're 23, you are basically conscripted and you're required to carry that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's not like they're carrying it, to defend themselves. They're required to do that. I believe someone will check that, but I believe that's true.
Here's a video talking about sources that not only Charlie Kirk was afraid of his life from Israel, but Trump has confided in some of his sources that he too is concerned for Israel. Gee, I wonder why. They only killed Kennedy. But let's look at this. This is a little longer, but it's worth it. Where is that? To expand. There we go.
Your source of concern for Trump. I mean, think about it. What would happen?
Does the president of the United States fear for his life?
Yes. I mean, obviously he fears for his life. And I was told that he feared for his life before the 2 assassination attempts, one coming within a millimeter of striking his head. I mean, let's not forget about that.
But I mean, just to clarify, he doesn't fear for his life because of Ireland.
I mean, I've been told, yes, that Israel is a major source of concern for Trump. I mean, think about it. What would happen?
This is our ally.
If he suspended arms if he suspended arms to a country that carries out assassinations all across the globe, that specializes in assassinations, that has an entire wing of its intelligence services that conducts assassinations, including with household goods like pagers, would you not be scared? So yes, Trump is scared. And what I learned from this source, who is a Trump insider, someone who talks to who talks to people in the Oval Office, people close to Trump, is that during one of Netanyahu's many visits to the U.S. this year, some figures in his retinue, Israeli agents, placed electronic devices on emergency response Secret Service vehicles. The Secret Service found them and they reported this to the White House. These would be emergency response vehicles that would respond to an incident potentially involving the president.
Now there's another video of him talking about Kirk also, but now Harrison was he wasn't the first to report the Kirk assassination. What he was the first to report, though, was a month ago he did a show showing how Kirk is just getting closer and closer and closer.
Oh, right.
All these issues. And he was the first to say, I've got a source that's really close to Kirk and is telling me that he is fearful of his life from Israel.
Yes.
So why are these people so scared? People, Israel is not our greatest ally. Israel is a wicked, wicked country that is a parasite and is running our country and has taken it over probably since the assassination of Kennedy. I don't think we've had a truly duly elected president, probably maybe Reagan and Trump since then. But
yeah, well, Richard Nixon actually spoke about it as well.
Yeah, he used some colorful adjectives expressing his disdain for Israel as well.
Yeah.
So they all know who has the power. They, and they are afraid because they have no problem assassinating people. And you go back to the Khazarian Empire. I mean, gosh,
that's what they did.
That's what these people have done for hundreds and thousands of years. My gosh. But so yeah, and there are other videos. He was on Megyn Kelly expressing again concern that his donors were threatening him. He also had that event where he had Tucker Carlson, and he had
I was going to say that was Turning Point over the summer.
He hosted,
and I got a chance to listen to the whole thing, and at that time I was surprised that he let Tucker do what he did. But now I see.
Yeah.
At the time I didn't understand it, but now I see it.
Yeah. Because he started seeing what Tucker's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
He started seeing what Candace Owens is
seeing. So when Tucker came to him and said, here's what I'm going to talk about, he was like, yes, absolutely. And the other thing is if you notice, and you can go back, it's on YouTube or Rumble, you can go watch the video when Tucker starts, when Tucker first comes out, everybody loves him. When he starts that, people begin to get up and leave, and you see it. Yeah.
One last one. This is Candace Owens. I think this is the latest and probably the best because she has the goods. She has the receipts, and she's about to release them. I believe probably this week. She says. Let me see if I can find the actual place.
Asked him. Take a listen.
Babe, can you?
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and
just
the absurdity.
16.
He didn't answer. I decided, and I know that Charlie was offered
17,
the very
16,
same pressure, and Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you, and he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say. because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Israel, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I got to tell you that. It felt like a threat, like not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Maybe would fund it, you know, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needs to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, you know, re-education camp. You know, we've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. You know, we just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better.
Kiss that wall.
Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid. Okay. There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon, I was going to talk to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting. And Seth Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain. And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages. But my friend was shot in the neck. And I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding, okay? This is me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweet because, you know, he tweeted, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there, Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week. We're at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again, in a move that wouldn't happen to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat. I am inviting you guys, I will give you my platform, actually, to come clear matters up, to tell us what really happened, because, you know, I think Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to Mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step, okay? You are I said specifically, "You're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie." He says, "Ha ha." Speaking.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can't we just all get along?
He said ha ha. So yeah, this is the weakness of Candace. She always gives this false dichotomy, like you have to be Catholic or you have to be pro-Israel. And it's just a joke. It's a straw man. She should know better, but she's constantly doing this.
Come on.
She, bless her heart, I hate to say this, but she is such a whore for the Roman Catholic Church. She can't, I mean, any opportunity. And she criticizes.
Well, you know what? She may be using them.
She's criticizing Bibi for using her friend's death as a platform because he's going on Fox and he's doing all this stuff. And yet here she is, she can't just help but plug the Roman Catholic Church. It's kind of disturbing, but
hey, Mike, maybe she is using them as protection.
well, some people have thought that, but no, her husband's all into the Catholic Church, so I think she's just doing it to please him. But she brings up some good points. I mean, she's got the goods. There's text circulating. These donors, she said, he lost his mind. So to me, that means he's threatening him, like not just withholding money. Like, we're going to bury your butt, kid, if you keep on going down this road. Yeah. And you have to realize, and I have another article that I posted where I can't remember if it's an Israeli whistleblower or if it's someone working at the consulate, but it was his job to manipulate for Israel, to manipulate evangelical dispensational Zionists. And he states clearly in the letter, and I guess I can pull that up. You guys mind if I do that real quick? And then Mark, I'm going to go ahead and let you kind of talk, but I really wanted to get to this. If I can go back. Because to me, this is really why I think Charlie was assassinated. It wasn't just the political things he was saying about Israel. I think his eschatology was going to change. Not that he was going to go Catholic, but probably all male or something. But let me see if I can find this. Where is that article, babe? Here it is. I found it. I want to pull it up because I want you to see the actual article itself. This is from the Libertarian Institute. Let me go ahead and blow this up a little bit more. All right. Can you see that, Mark, a little better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sun Tzu wrote, "All warfare is based on deception. You have heard many stories about the Israeli government deceiving and manipulating U.S. officials, steering our country towards funding and even fighting their wars. Let me tell you one more. Israel exploits the religious beliefs of American Christians, fostering a certain flavor of fanaticism to empower a doomsday cult in a twisted effort to serve the interests of this increasing genocidal apartheid state. I know this because I was a central, useful idiot in this." Now get that, PSYOP. That's why I named my book, my movie script, Armageddon PSYOP. Now keep going. "As the strategic outreach director of the Consulate General of Israel to the Southwest United States, I spent the last 8.5 years betraying my country on behalf of the Israeli government." So I guess he's a United States citizen. "Using theology.
Not for long.
Using theology as a geopolitical tool and simultaneously lost my faith in God. Premillennial," this last paragraph is it. "Premillennial dispensationalism is the Christian end times belief that all true believers will be raptured away to heaven, ushering in a 7-year tribulation period under the reign of the Antichrist, where those left behind will endure unspeakable suffering before the day of judgment and an eternity trapped in hell. Since Israel," notice in quotes, Israel in quotes, plays a central role in this apocalyptic fantasy. Adherents of this view are required to foster unconditional support for the contemporary Israeli government, which they view as the manifestation of biblical Israel. These adherents are in a very real sense, here it is, powerful sentence here. I'm going to read it from the beginning. Listen, everybody. These adherents are in a very real sense rooting for Armageddon. That's World War III. Beliefs can be very powerful, and it doesn't take a genius to grasp how this belief is a national security vulnerability of biblical proportions, one that has captured the mind of Senator Cruz, Ambassador Mike Huckabee, and countless others. And so this guy's just a whistleblower, and you really need to read the whole article. It's not long. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's not long, but he shows like how they manipulated evangelical Christians and congressmen, and that this is a real psyop. It's real propaganda. And they talk bad about these evangelical Christians because they're suckers, and they realize it, and they're using them. And they've been funding this for over 100 years, guys, with Schofield. They have dumped millions, if not billions of dollars in this psyop of conditioning evangelical Zionists that they're going to get raptured. You know, they have to support Israel no matter what. And to get them into this mentality of, oh, yay, Armageddon's here. John Hagee's like telling our congressman, we have to have a preemptive strike on Iran. You know, and he's always talking about them getting raptured and making false prophecy predictions. And so this is another arm of Israel that people need to be aware of. And to me, this is my battleground. This is my fight. This is my angle. You know, that's why I wrote the book, Armageddon Deception, because of this very deception. I know that they've deceived the church and are using these people like idiots, and they've overwhelmed our government with all of these Christian Zionists, and they're the only kind of Christians that are funded by AIPAC and allowed to represent us. And that, when that ends, then we begin taking our government back. Okay, I'll shut up for a while.
Amen. Well, you know, that is the truth. I think what you did on Friday, and we posted, or I posted it on our Rumble channel, TG&P, and I think that is the truth of what's going on. Slowly but surely, Christians are seeing it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Christian, she's seeing it. Thomas Massey, don't know if he's a Christian, but he's seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely.
You know, my hope is that you've got some Democrat Christians that are seeing it.
That's almost a contradiction at this point. Now, if you would have said Democrat and Christian when Kennedy was president, or before, I could see those two concepts going together. I really could. And I'm not going to rule out.
There's a few out there still.
Yeah, I'm not going to rule out, make that, you know, dichotomy completely. But I mean, today's Democrats are just these crackpot, pro-homosexual, pro-abortion, anti-biblical everything. So I don't see how those go together. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, sorry, I saw Jan here. She says, are you going to talk about Ben Shapiro taking over Turning Point? He thinks he's taking over Turning. Honestly, Charlie Kirk was Turning Point. I don't think Turning Point's going to last. I think Ben Shapiro jumping in there is typical, and they're going to throw a lot of money at it, and they're going to run a lot of propaganda, and they're going to do a lot of things to try to keep it alive, but it's dead.
I would hope that his wife Erica is aware of what Charlie was facing and up against, where his beliefs were turning, what he was questioning, and I would hope that she would be aware of who and what Ben Shapiro really is and who he is all about.
Yeah.
That's what I would hope.
Many people have thought Ben is a Mossad agent, and I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
Yeah,
And for him to say that so quickly,
you're right.
I mean, that's mind blowing. Now you have Alex Jones saying that and I'm like, Alex Jones would be great going to these college campuses, teaching the kids about globalists. But since he doesn't name Israel as the top of the food chain and the Rothschilds to the globalists, he's pretty much ineffective. He's a horrible theologian.
Awful.
I mean, horrible. He's a charismatic. He always pretends that he's a prophet. He pretends he gets dreams.
Hang on, Mike. Hang on, Mike.
He's a
hang on. You hang on, Mike. You called him a theologian, first of all.
Did I?
Yes. You said he is a horrible theologian.
Yeah, that's a contradiction. Yeah, he's just his theology is so bad. He's like a 3-time strike heretical.
Well, and secondly,
futurist.
He's what my kids call a boomer.
Oh.
The college kids are not going to relate to the guy. So two things: he's too old, and he's definitely not a theologian.
No, and he couldn't preach the gospel if his life depended on it. He's such an egomaniac. Everything is about himself. I called this. I mean, you're like, So that's not going to happen. So
the Ben Shapiro thing. Ben can say whatever he wants. Look, my opinion, Turning Point's dead. It's going to try to survive. And Denise, to your point, Charlie, you would think, shared everything with his wife. I mean, we all do that as men. We share with our wives and bounce things off. So you got to think that she knows all that. And Turning Point, look, it's going to try to survive just because there's money still in there and there's people that work for it. And it was a huge thing, but it's gone. Ben can turn it into whatever he wants.
Have to disagree with you. And when we disagree, I'm always right. So, but I disagree with you. I think that the support, financial support, is coming in like it's never come. I mean, you've got high school kids that are joining this thing out of the blue. I mean, it is growing leaps and bounds. But you're right. They do need someone that's going to come in, that's going to be articulate, Lord willing, that will fill the gap right where Charlie was, that he was waking up to Israel. And that's going to be a unique spot to fill.
Very.
And all these Jewish donors, I don't know who has control of Turning Point. Does his wife? Because if it's all these Jewish donors that were threatening him, then we know it's just going to be it's just going to be a pro.
Well, that was the money backers. I think legally he probably owns it all, and it's probably left to his wife, and we'll see what his wife does with it. It was his thing. I don't know. All right, I'm going to have to research that.
Well, yeah.
Well, here we have a comment. Turning Point will survive 32,000 in new chapter requests since Charlie.
Yeah. No, I get it. Look, the college campuses is where he built it. Yes. What I mean by Turning Point, it's not going to be the same. It can morph into something better, and I hope it does. But what it was before he was dead will not be. And Ben Shapiro can say, I'm taking it over. Whatever. That was
apparently Candace Owens said over her dead body. So
I mean, he posted that, Ben Shapiro posted that thing, and the bloody mic, I'll take the mic, or whatever that thing was. Yeah. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's not going to happen. Turning Point can be something better, and I hope it does, but it's not going to be what it was.
Let's hope that it morphs into something better, but it's never going to be what it was, because there's only one Charlie Kirk. There's only one guy that was that articulate, that was such a good debater, that had so many facts and figures memorized, that was a good combination of a Christian apologist and almost like a Schaefer, trying to bring these things into a Christian worldview. And he had a heart for the college kids whoever they get, I just hope really has that same heart.
Yeah, well, he could relate to him. I mean, he was not a boomer. Whatever. We're boomers. Yeah, Mike, you and I
I don't know what I am.
Yeah. But no, to the younger generation, to the college kids, we're boomers.
Okay.
But yeah, they could relate to him. And that was the thing, because he sat and he just wanted a dialogue. So can they get someone else that can do that? Maybe. I don't know who that would be. Maybe Ian Carroll, they can pop him in there. I don't know. I hope
That'd be awesome.
I hope it goes forward and is better than what it was.
Yeah.
But only time will tell. Hey, technical issue, just to make sure that we didn't block one of our great fans is Mike Parsons. He's saying he can't get in. You didn't block him, did you?
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay, good. And anybody that knows Racer X, come on, we need him back.
I know, we need him back. I know.
Well,
anyway, Mike just sent me a text. He was like unable to comment on the show, and then unable to access it. So I don't know. All right. What else you got?
Well, during this whole time that Charlie is assassinated and shortly thereafter, we have our congressmen, at work for the American people. What are they doing? Oh, they're blocking the Epstein list from coming out, and they're blocking the Smith-Mundt Act. First of all, let's talk about what it is before we talk about, Mike Johnson blocking Massey's.
Well, hang on. Before we go there, I do have one clip. You did just mention what are our politicians doing, except especially Rubio. And let me share this real quick. Here's what they're doing.
He's over there kissing some.
Here we go.
Belly butt.
And listening to Over the Rainbow.
Yeah, here we go. This is what they're.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the sick. That has become the most.
He's a Christian at all
thing I've seen. I hate seeing this.
Now, hang on, Mark Rubio. I don't know if he's a Christian. Who knows? I'm wondering now whether Mike Huckabee is. Now, he was a Baptist preacher for a long time. He became the governor of Arkansas, and he said he was, but. This right here is idolatry. Idolatry.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
To the fullest extent.
Well, and not only that, but they think that there's going to be another rebuilt temple, that there's going to be circumcision brought back into place when the Gentiles come into the land to offer animal sacrifices before they can even see a literal physical Jesus on a literal throne, smelling the stench of animals. All of it's idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is going back to the old covenant types and shadows. Again, if your eschatology climaxes, your redemptive history climaxes in going back to animal sacrifices and circumcision, that's not the gospel. Paul said that's another gospel. You need to leave that and you need to run from it.
And I'm not saying, here's what I'm saying. Mike Huckabee, the Holy Spirit should have pricked his heart and said, what are you doing? Every single Christian that walked up to that wall, the Holy Spirit should have said in a loud voice in your head, what are you doing?
Mike got where he is. Mike got where he is by being a Zionist. And, he was a pastor and he'd been teaching dispensationalism for so long. It's just like Chuck Smith, even John MacArthur, bless his heart. I mean, these guys, they just, it becomes an institution to them and they don't even think about it. It's scary.
But they also get a lot of money from it.
Oh, yeah.
And the root of the love of money is the root of all evil. When you are getting money and you have totally conditioned yourself to think that your belief system is what is getting you this money, and that is what you end up chasing.
Yeah.
Or you think God is blessing you because you're getting this money for supporting this wicked stick.
And honestly, look, I think a lot of Christians that fall into that believe that, and maybe that's where Mike Huckabee is. I just cannot believe that the Holy Spirit is not just yelling in his ear saying, what are you doing?
I know. It's
anyway, I do want to give a shout out to American Pirate. He is a full preterist brother, and he's posted a couple of good things. So I just want to give a shout out.
And
I think he follows it.
His mom died today. I saw him post that on X. So we want to send our prayers and our thoughts to American Pirate.
Amen. That's true. I did see that.
Okay, so babe, tell us about this act. Tell us about propaganda. Who brought it back and why? And
well, I think the Smith-Mundt Act was brought back in 2013. It was part of one of the omnibus bills that went through. And of course, you know, the language that is always cloaked in is that this is going to help the American people, and there was no funding behind it, but this was sort of the resurrection of Operation Mockingbird, right? Where with Operation Mockingbird, the media, the news media, just your main news sources at that time, your big, your CBS, your NBC, your ABC, and your big like magazines and newspapers, they could choose whether they wanted to propagandize other countries or not, but they were not allowed to propagandize American citizens. Okay. That had sort of done away with I think the church congressional committee that was had in 1975, where all of this came out, that yes, this was really a thing, and that they were actually doing this propagandizing. And it was resurrected in 2013 through Obama, but the funding wasn't there. And then it was fully funded in 2016. And so since then, American citizens, all of our news sources, I guess they realized that they couldn't really propagandize what was on the internet. And so they figured that they needed to go in and find a way so that they could control what was being spread on the internet.
And we know that from the Twitter files,
right,
with COVID.
Right.
But they've been doing this for years. They have actual CIA operatives that work for these news channels and tell them what to say. It is legal. Most Americans do not know that it is legal for our government to lie and to promote propaganda to us. It was illegal to do it to the people. We could propagandize other countries, but Obama made it legal to commit propaganda against the American people. Yeah. And that is wicked. And so what we have, Massey was trying to pass a bill to get rid of that. And Mike Johnson blocked it. Why in the hell would anyone block that?
Now, I don't know when that happened. I don't know if it was during the Charlie Kirk assassination or before, but it is coming out that Massey was trying to get this bill through, and Mike Johnson blocked it. Now, Mike from Utah is trying to resurrect that, and he wants to call it the Charlie Kirk Act.
Now, that is coming from a teenage girl whose video went viral because she was the one that suggested that this be named the Charlie Kirk Act because of all the propaganda and lies that are being spread about Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And so that would be a great way of honoring him. So if that isn't passed, I don't know how Mike Johnson could be considered a Christian or representing the United States or the people or anything. I mean, that is something that everybody should be able to agree on. Yeah, we cannot perform propaganda against our own people.
Yeah, I mean, well, Mike Johnson was exposed as a snake when he was running for the head Speaker of the House. Marjorie Taylor Greene was against him. What's his name before he got let go? Gat. What's the guy from Florida?
Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz. Yes. I mean, they were exposing him as a fraud. He's always been a fraud. A true conservative, any true conservative should see through this snake. I mean, he is a fork-tongued snake all the way. He's terrible, and he's been terrible. And most of them in Washington are terrible. And you've got the Thomas Masseys and they're trying to do something right. and they're getting blocked every step of the way. And it should show us, when the midterms come around, what we should do. And that's whether you vote for an independent or whether you just send a message and say, you know what, I'm not voting. And I would much rather everybody just take themselves out of the system. That would send more shockwaves than anything. But fine, I get it. That's a little more difficult for people, a pill to swallow. But vote an independent, write your own name in, do something else than just say, you know what, I'm going for the lesser of two evils or the one, because it's not working, obviously. I mean, look at it. We talked back in January. We had it. We were all pumped, and here we are. And what are we doing? We're like, oh man.
True.
I think the swamp's gotten bigger.
It seems like it has. And I was reading today where a lot of Trump's nominations for important positions are just being slow walked or blocked altogether. Like he is just surrounded by deep state swamp.
Yeah. It's terrible. Yeah.
And they blocked the Epstein list from coming out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, wonderful, wonderful representatives we got going there.
Yeah. How did they kill that?
Hang on a second, Mark. And the other one that they did for us was to make sure that Israel cannot be boycotted. We can't criticize Israel, so they passed that for us. Even though people are waking up.
Yeah, so while you were reading that from the Libertarian blog, that's what I said about Mark Rubio. That's what he's trying to get past, is that you'll just lose your citizenship. So you won't be able to travel. If you want to talk bad about Israel or tell the truth about some things.
Well, you're talking about if you have a green card or something. You're not talking about U.S. citizens.
No. He's saying he will pull. Hang on, let me find it.
I doubt that. I don't think that could even remotely pass.
He will pull your ability to travel. You can be an American citizen. He can't pull your citizenship, but you just won't be able to travel.
What the hell is wrong with these people? Golly.
Israel sent the message that they wanted to send. Bow down and worship us, or we will put a bullet through your neck.
It is such a cult.
Yeah. In fact, Stu Peters talks about it. Mark Rubio to revoke U.S. passports for anti-Semitism. So, Mike, if you're,
I guess we're not traveling anywhere, honey.
Yeah, you and Denise want to go on that lovely trip to Italy. You can forget it. It's not going to.
Yeah. My goodness. Well, that's all I really had tonight. Of course, I got a little worked up. I always get a little worked up, but this is
well. I think this will get you going. So, speaking of, rabbis talking about Christians kissing the wall and all that. Here's one that came out, and he's like, why follow just one? All right, Mike. Hopefully you don't have high blood pressure, because you will after this.
You just had to do this to me.
I just want to say this to our Christian friends. You guys are worshiping one Jew. I just want to say this to our Christian friends. You guys are worshiping one Jew. That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us, because we all die every single day.
Well, that's what they think. I mean, they think
Rabbi's message to
we're going to serve them. We're going to be their slaves. Yeah. Each Jew is going to have 2,800 slaves in their paradise on earth when the Messiah comes. We have no soul. We were only created to serve the Jew. That's their mentality. And why Trump can't wake his ass up? Well, I mean, with all that powerful spiritual advice he's getting from Paula White, I mean, I just don't get it.
Honestly, I have looked, and I have not found one photo or video of her kissing the wall. So maybe we got something.
She's been kissing a lot of men.
I know, but I've never seen one where she's kissing the wall. So we might have something here.
And kissing a lot of different things. but I'm sure she'll make it over there to the wall. I'm sure she has. I'm sure she has.
I can't find it. If anybody can find it, I'd love to see it. Anyway, we got.
I would like to see that. I bet you she's like full on, like, weeping, speaking in tongues, and God's given her a vision right there. I mean, I could totally see it. The drama.
It just hasn't happened yet, So maybe. All right. So here's a little good news. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I'll go ahead and play it. So a little context. Sorry. Kennedy came out, took the stage at the Charlie Kirk vigil. I owe my unification with Trump to Charlie Kirk, he said. And it's so here we go. And he's getting a standing O, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He's kicking the crap out of the Rockefellers.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
We just got to take it to the Rothschild.
Yep. Anyway, there's I thought he was going to speak, but okay, whatever. Yeah, I think, we said it on the last, was it the last episode? RFK Jr. is doing something really good.
He is.
We had a lot of high hopes for some other folks, but I think he's batting 1,000 here. So
he is. Like I said, he's taking on the Rockefellers, doing a great job, taking on Big Pharma, and now we need to have someone that's going to take a stand against Rothschild in Israel. And right now, there's no one. We've got Tucker, we've got Candace, but we don't have anyone representing us. I don't want social media person representing me. I want a president representing me.
State representative.
Jeez, anyone. I mean, Massey's the only one that it's just so disgusting. It is very discouraging, but God is sovereign.
And what is it with all 250 of our Congress members being over in Israel being serenaded with Over the Rainbow?
I know. Did you see that?
Talk about that?
Ridiculous. Yeah, I saw it. In fact, I saw it today and I was like, what?
Don't they use that song in like some kind of psychological warfare?
MK Ultra.
Yeah.
That's what Liz Crokin is reporting. That
definitely the LGBTQ use it all the time. So
so it's just like it's a humiliating humiliating ritual. Like, here, we're gonna humiliate you guys. Like,
it's just like
you are our bitch. Let's just get this straight. 50 states, but one Israel. We're all the same. You serve us.
Yep.
I mean,
so think about the Epstein paintings where they had George Bush playing with toys. They had Bill Clinton in a dress. This is the same thing. They're just doing it on live television. And these mooks are just like eating it up. Like, yeah, this is great. They're just blind to their own, to their own humiliation.
I know I'm typical politicians. I know I'm taking this out of context, but the Bible says my people die for a lack of knowledge, and it's just like, it's true. I know that this is out of context, but in this case, we are dying because we do not know our Bibles. We do not know that the Old Covenant national Israel came to her prophetic end in AD 70, and that this is just the state of Rothschild. It has no prophetic significance at all. In fact, because it is the state of Rothschild, we are serving our oldest and most ruthless enemy, Rothschild, going as far back as our colonies. Now, I'm not just talking about 1913 and the Fed and them taking over our complete monetary system. I mean, the Rothschilds have been ruling us for a long time. It's just disgusting.
No, well, I'm reaching the point.
I just feel like howling. I just want to howl.
Yeah, that's my dog. He's telling me time's up. He's like, look, you're almost at an hour. You're done. You're done. All right, I got to get this out.
Okay.
The well, I'm not going to be able to do it. My dog's going to ruin the rest of the
We
show.
don't care. It's not like we have thousands of followers.
Yeah, that's true. What are we doing? All right. So this guy was following around the National Guard in DC, and for all the Star Wars fans out there, he was playing the Imperial March, following him around. You got to hear this. It's hilarious. And by the way, they're not coming to Chicago. I said they'd never come to Chicago. They're coming to Memphis, Tennessee.
Yep. I saw that.
So we'll see how that plays out. Constitutionally, this is a nightmare, but whatever. But this is hilarious. This guy has followed these guys around in DC playing the Imperial March. So I got to play it. All right, here we go.
That's mean.
And this guy's about to get tired of it.
Yeah.
These guys.
If you want us to contact Metro PD and they can come handle you. That's what you want to do.
He's like, that's fine. We'll call Metro PD and he can come and handle this. And the guy's like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, it just makes the music fit in even better, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just waiting for the Metro PD to pull up, and it's going to be a bunch of white stormtroopers walk out of the. Pew, pew, pew.
All right. Well, I guess.
No, there goes my dog. He's telling us we're done.
Yes, and our daughter's over here like, are you guys done yet? But anyway, it's a good show. What do we got? We got a couple comments.
And yes, my husband did respond to Doug Wilson's newest. I think you responded to his newest video on preterism.
Yeah. Doug Wilson, bless his heart. I don't get that guy. He's been confronted with the truth for so long now, and he just won't answer questions like Ken Gentry. So I gave him. Someone said that they posted my video response to Doug and said, you got to watch this video. Mike Sullivan took Doug Wilson behind the woodshed. So, for what it's worth.
Take him.
Check it out.
Mike, take him.
I can do it.
He needs to be taken behind the woodshed.
Yes.
Maybe he'll knock some sense into him.
I've gained some weight, but I think he's got quite a bit on me. I think I could still take him. All right. Anyway, guys, we hope you like the show. And, man, keep praying for Charlie Kirk's wife. She's obviously still mourning. Pray for wisdom for Turning Point, that God brings the right man that fits that and will continue in the right direction that Charlie was heading in. Because if we're really going to honor the guy, let's get someone in there that sees the vision and sees what he was seeing, maybe even a little bit more advanced. And pray that God brings these people, because we know this guy was a patsy, right? That the real handlers behind this are the CIA, the Mossad, who create these groups. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and now the transgender cult. They are behind these people, moving them. Just like we saw the FBI infiltrate Gretchen Whitmer, right? And prodding people, paying people to commit crimes. They know how to manipulate these people, especially when they're jacked up on hormones, antidepressants, social kooks like this kid was. Really bright, but you get him in an atmosphere with his roommate is some transgender freak, and he's socially inept, and these people are just easily manipulated, and we need to get the handlers. I want to know who was on that plane that turned off its radar, that was owned by this wealthy Jewish donor. I want to know everyone that was on that plane. That's what I want to know. But
anyway, yes, and I want to let everybody know I think you nailed it. When I heard it, I texted you. I said I put it on our channel on Rumble. Go there, you can watch it again or for the first time, and just subscribe. So we can get the channel going, and then we can start going live on Rumble.
Yeah. The people who stand to gain from Charlie's death is Israel. Pure and simple. The lead up to this was he was critical of Israel. They were threatening him, and they have those groups that can assassinate someone on a dime when You know,
Maybe
they're
too.
called up. Yeah. So that's what I see. I could be wrong,
Man,
but as my wife
I
said,
hope you're
I'm rarely wrong.
I hope you're wrong. Mike, I hope this time you're wrong. And that 99%, that 1%, this is where I hope you're wrong.
Well, I hope I'm right and they get caught this time. And it's a massive wake up for the United States. Wait a second, you shot Kennedy, right? You tried to sink the US Liberty. You danced when 9/11 was taking place. You were there documented. You knew that it was going to take place before because you told all the Jews not to go to work in the Twin Towers that day, right? So this is a wicked people. What's it going to take, America, to wake the hell up over these people? You have got to wake up. You got to read your Bible to know who true Israel is. And you got to get politically, you got to read, man, because we can't go on like this. We're being taken over. Okay. On that note, babe.
All right.
No, we're good. I think we've already been taken over for a long time. Now it's our turn. If we want to have any hope in this country, we are going to have to start reading. We are going to have to start re-educating ourselves. I think we're going to have to admit that everything that we were taught in school was a lie. And we're going to have to start re-educating ourselves, re-educating our children. And we're going to have to start reading our Bibles. We're going to have to start understanding how our politics is supposed to mesh with our Bibles. And we're going to have to start becoming brave like Charlie. And yes, does that mean that this may continue to happen for a while? Yes, because that is how polarized our country has become. It is how radicalized so many people have become.
They want civil war. This is a part of the playbook. It's public assassinations on TV to create this. We have to be smarter. We have to know who the puppet masters are. We have to know who the handlers are, and we have to go after them. We can't take the bait. Can't do it.
Right. That's right. May I pray that we do not live in interesting times, that we live in boring times, that we remain humble and, you know, just stay local and just be, you know, who we are.
Yeah.
It starts local. Local action has, you know, national consequences.
Yeah, let's not look for the national thing. Just look local and run your own municipality the way it should be. And be boring.
Be boring.
Yes, I like being boring.
I want to be a gangster like you. Isn't that what your shirt
There's
says?
a lot to be, well, not me, but you know, that's the Republicans and the Democrats. Ain't nothing but a gangster party, man.
Oh, man.
See if my camera will focus. Ain't nothing but a gangster party.
All right, brother. Well, we will see you next week and keep up the good fight. And guys, thanks for tuning in and keep giving us questions. What does Susan say? Great show, Turning Point USA, etc. Yes, we love Susan. Sue.
We love
Yeah.
Sue. We
Yeah,
miss you,
she's our-
Sue.
Yes, we do. You should come back. All right, guys. Take care. Lord
Bye.
bless.
Thanks, everybody. See you.
Bye-bye.